Hello guys, you're welcome to this video. In this video, I'll be showing you the DAX formula and how you can do some calculations using the DAX formula. And I will explain the difference between calculated columns and the new measure and calculated tables in this video. What is that? It is a collection of functions, operations, and values that help us to perform advanced calculation and queries on our data. So in a Power BI, we perform advanced calculation using the DAX formula. So we'll get to see this DAX formula and we'll do some calculations on it. So with that function, we can create calculated columns, measure, and calculated tables. Okay, so we're going to see the difference between these columns and the difference between calculated columns and the measure. So we can see that in calculated columns, calculation is done for each rows. So for each row, calculations is being done. So for measure, it is used when you need to perform an application completed at the time of request and are not added onto the table. So a calculated column is added to the table, but while the measure is not calculated in the table. So we're going to be seeing that when we go to our Power BI desktop, where we'll be doing some calculations, and you will get to understand the difference between calculated columns and measure. So in the calculated column, the calculation is appended to the existing table. I just said that. While in the measure, it is computed at the time of request, and they are not added onto the tables. Okay, so calculated columns consume memory, while measure consume CPU. So let's get on to the next slide. So calculated tables. A calculated table is a visual table created using a data analysis expression DAX formula. Unlike regular tables that are imported from external data sources, so we have been exporting data from other sources into the Power BI environment, but you can actually create a table using the DAX formula in the Power BI. So calculated tables are defined within the Power BI model using the DAX formula language for working with relational data. Okay, so the first function here we're going with the DAX function here is the weekday function. So we're going to be solving some problems on the weekday function. So the first question we are going to be looking at is determine the total numbers of orders placed based on the day of the week, starting from Monday to Sunday. Okay, so in this problem, we are going to calculate the total number of orders that have been placed, and we'll segregate them into days of the week. Okay, so this will help us to understand the demands of the products throughout the week. Okay, so let's just get on to our Power BI desktop and we'll get to understand it more. Okay, so here's our table, our sales table. Okay, so we can see over here our sales table. This is our sales table. You can see over here our new measure, our quick measure, our new column. All of this is under the table tools tabs. Okay, and our new table over here. We're going to for this problem we're going to head on to create our new column. So you can create a new columns in two ways. So either you come over here and just click on the new column here, or you come over to where you have your data over here, the sales data. So you just click on these three dots. Once you click on these three dots, you'll see a list of instructions to carry out. Okay, so you can see new measure. So we have two ways of also creating new measure. Either you come over here, or you can come over here and you click on here, and you'll be able to create a new measure. But we are going to create a new column. So just click on new column. So once you click on the new column, you can see a new column here is being created. So you just come over here to give it a name. So the first name that we're going to be, the problem we're going to be solving is we're going to create a column called day number. So a column called day number. So you can see from your order dates over here. Let's just have a view of our order dates. You can see order dates here. We have Friday, August 7, 2015. So we want to give this row, this order date column, we want to give it a day number. So like we have Sunday, which is 1, Monday 2, Tuesday 3. Okay, so we want to give a day number to these days of the week. Okay, so we put up our column name here, which is day number. So what we're going to start with is going to be we're going to use a function known as a weekday function. Okay, so this is a function over here. So this fx shows that is a function. So when you click on the weekday function, you can see from here that it returns a number from 1 to 7, identifying the day of the week of a date. Okay, so it has an argument here. The first argument, you can see the weekday function. The first argument here is the date. Okay, and the next argument is the return type. Okay, so our date argument here is going to be the order date. Okay, so we're going to write the order date column. So to start writing the order date column, you have to write first of all the tables. The table there is sales table. So once you write down sales, you'll see the list of column here. So we have the column here, order dates. This column over here, we have it here. So you just click on it. So we are done with the first argument dates. So then you put a comma. You can see a comma here in this order after the first argument dates. You put a comma. So the next return type here, now you're going to choose either 1, 2, or 3. Do you want your day number to start with for Sunday? You will start with 1. So once you click on this one, that means from Sunday it will be 1, Monday 2, like that. Okay, but if you click on 2, it shows that the first day is going to start from Monday. Okay, so Monday will be 1, Tuesday 2, and when the same thing with 3. Okay, so once you click on 3, that means Tuesday will be the first day. So we want our first day to be Monday, so we click on 2. Okay, so once you're done with that, you just close the bracket and just click on enter. Once you enter, a new column will be created called day number. Okay, so it has been created. So you can come over here, we see a day number. So like we explained earlier on in our slide that the calculated columns is appended to the table. So we can now see that the day number now is appended to the table. Okay, and we can see that we can come over here and see that Friday, from in the order days column, we see that Friday now is is now number, sorry, let's get it to. So Friday now is 5, which is Monday 1st, Tuesday 2nd, Wednesday 3rd, Thursday 4th, and Friday 5th. Okay, so we are done creating our day number. So the next thing we are going to create is a new measure, which we are going to be solving the question. So the question was find the total orders placed. Okay, so to do that, we go back to our home page. So we go to new measure. Okay, so we created a new measure. So let's just put a name over here. Sorry, new measure. Okay, so we're going to call the column. We're going to call this new measure total orders. Total orders is equal to, so to find the total orders, you can come over to your table here. You can see order quantity. So we want to find the total order quantity. So I will use a function which is the sum function. You can see a sum function over here, which is fx. It shows that it's a sum function. So we just click on the sum function now. They say the sum function adds all the numbers in the column. So we want to add all the number in this order quantities column. Okay, so the argument is a column name. So you just come over here, cells. It's a sales table. So you come to where you have order quantity here. So we click on order quantity and just close the bracket and hit enter. So once you've done that, a new measure is created now. Now you can see that the new measure is created. It is not appended to the table, but rather it's appended over here. So you can use it from here. So you come over here. So you can see over here the total orders, a new measure. Okay. So you've seen this a calculator sign shows that is a measure. Okay. So once you've done that, let's go to our report view. Okay. So now we are in a report view. So we want to have a view of the total order placed throughout the week. So first of all, you come to your visualization pane where we have the matrix. You can come over, just click on the matrix, okay, and it appears over here. So we're going to, in the matrix, we have where we have the columns and the values. So what we're going to do, we are going to bring the day number to our column. So we just drag it to where we have our column and put it there. And you go to our total order and drag it to our values field. Okay. So once you've done that, you can see it over here. Just come here and click and then show as a table. Want to have a view as a table. So you can see over here that the first day, which was a Monday, this is the total orders. Okay. The second day, this is the total orders till 7. Okay. So we have solved that problem. Let's get on to the next question. So the needed function returns the day that is indicated numbers of months before or after the start dates. Okay. So in the sales table, we are going to consider the order date to be the start of the service, and we have to find out the expiring date of the service in 6 months time. Okay. So let's just get onto our Power BI desktop. Okay. We want to find the expiring date from the start date, which is the order date. So to do that, we're going to create a new column. So in a new column, we are going to write the expiring date. Expiring date is equal to, we write the date and look at the function over here. So the function returns the date that is indicated numbers of months before or after the start date. So the argument, the first argument there is the start date, and then we have the month. So the first the start date argument is going to be our order date over here. So to do that, we write the Excel table, and you see the column name order date showing up over here. So you just click on it, and then you put a comma to separate the argument. So the next argument is months. So we're looking at the 6 month expiring date, which is after the service date. So we are going to use a positive 6 over here. So if it's before the service date, we are going to use -6. But since it's after the service date, it's going to be +6. So once you've done that, you close the bracket and just hit enter. Once it enters, a new column will be appended to the table. Okay, so we can see here the expiring date over here, which is February 7, 2016, and the time is 12 noon, 12 a.m. So you just come over here. Let us change the format. Let us format our expiring date over here by just coming to where you have the format. Click here and let's just check through the format that we're going to use. Let's use this format. So once you click on the format there, it will change. Now you can see 7 February 2016. Okay, 2016. So if you come over here where we have the order date, is the start date of the service, which is on Friday, August 7. So 6 months after, we have February 7th. Okay, so we have solved that problem. So the next function is EO month function. So the EO month function, this returns the last day of the month calculated from the specified start day. So note that it returns the last day of that month. So like we solved in the EDATE function, we are going to do same. So in the EMONT function, let's just get onto our Power BI to solve that problem. So you go to your home page and you just click on new column. So the column name is going to be renewal date. Renewal date. Okay, so we're going to use an EO month. You can see the function over here, EO month. It said it returns the date in date time format of the last day of the month before or after a specified number of months. Okay, so the start date, we're going to use the order date, and the month is going to be 6 months after the start date. Okay, so we use some sales table, and then the column order date will show up. So we put a comma. So the next argument there is month. So the question was determine the due date to renew the service which expire in 6 months. So the month is going to be 6, and then we close the bracket and hit enter. So you can see here the renewal date. So let's just come to our table tools. Let's just come to column tools, and then we click on format. We change the format. Let's use this. Let's use this. Okay, so we can now see the renewal date, which is 26 February for this row. Okay, so we have solved that problem. Let's head on to our slide. So the next function is the date diff / today's function. Okay, so date diff function can this return the number of units specified in intervals between the input and to date. So we are going to also use another function called today function alongside with the date diff function. So today function returns the current date in date time format. It gives you the current year, while now function gives you the current time. Okay, so but we're going to be using the today's function in this problem and with date diff function. So the question is determine the age of a customer as on today based on the date of the birth provided by the customer. So in the customer's table, the customer has provided the date of birth. So as today, as we're logging into Power BI, we want to know the age of that customer. Okay, so that is what we're going to be solving now. Let's head on to our Power BI desktop. Okay, so we're in the Power BI desktop. So to solve that problem, we just head on to our home page. We click on the new column. Have a view of the customer birthday. So you can see on the customer table, it has the birthday. Okay, to solve that problem, we have to click on the new measure. So this is the new column. So we call it customer age. Okay, so we're going to use a function known as date diff function. So once you click on that, you see a date diff function. You click on it. So once you write the customer table, you are going to see the birthday over here. You click on the birthday. So the next argument is going to be date 2. So in the date 2, we're going to use today's function to know the birthday of the customer. So that's the today's function. You just click on it here. So once you're done with that, you put comma, and then the intervals here. So the interval means in what unit do you want to display the difference in the year. So which unit are you going to display the difference between these two dates? I'm going to use the year. And so once you're done that, you just close the bracket and then hit enter. And the new column customer age. So we can see over here the age of the first customer here, which is called Jason Carlson. Which has today the customer age is 60 years. Okay, so we have solved that problem.